It all started when Hisao agreed to the nurse's suggestion to exercise. He was advised to go to the track to do jogging every morning. There, he met Emmy, who will also run for her training. While they are running, Hisao's child started to get hurt. Emmy is worried and forced him to go to the clinic. She learned that he has a bad heart and she decided to help him in maintaining his condition. Since then, she became Hisao's accountability partner. The two had their first official exercise after the school festival. After they finished their lap, Emmy praised him for doing a good job and asked him what he feels. He told her that it is tiring but feels good at the same time. She told him that it is called the runner's high. It is a sensation every runner experiences when they run. She told him that it feels better than sex. Hisao was shocked at what he just heard. Emmy laughed and told him that she was joking. Before they separated, she invited him to have lunch on the rooftop, in which he accepted. Emmy, Rin, and Hisao had lunch on the rooftop. Emmy asked them to attend the track meet where she will participate. The bell rang and they went to their respective classrooms. The next morning, Hisao tried to run longer and much faster compared to yesterday. His heart is beating faster than normal. They are worried about it and they went to the clinic to check it. The nurse told him that he is fine. During the checkup, he discovered that the nurse and Emmy are close. The track meet arrived. Rin and Hisao attended to watch Emmy. He met Mrs. Ibarasaki, Emmy's mother, and they talked for a while. He learned that Emmy's father is gone. She left after the first game because she needs to do something. Emmy won all the games she had participated. The two went to her and congratulated her. Emmy invited him to join them in a picnic next week to celebrate. A few days had passed. It was time for their picnic. It was very cloudy and it looks like it will rain. As they take a seat on the ground, it started to pour. They decided to go to Shanghai and continue their celebration there. Yoko, the librarian, works there and had a conversation with Emmy. Hisao learned that Emmy is always eating there with the team captain. They went home and the rain stopped. Emmy wanted to run in the track, but the moment they reached their dorm, it started to pour again. She still ran in the track even if it is raining. She is confident about her strong immune system and a mere rain can stop her. The next day, she is not present on the track. Hisao asked the nurse about it and it looks like she catches a cold. Hisao visited her on her room after the class. Emmy let her in and he was amused by what he saw. It was the first time he saw her without legs. She always wondered what Hisao's reaction would be if he saw her legs, and he told her that he didn't notice it. She then throws some pillows at him and a pillow fight upward, and then Hisao is on top of Emmy. After a few minutes of talking, Emmy fell asleep. Hisao realized that he is in love with her. It looks like Emmy is having a nightmare since she started to cry and shout in her sleep. Hisao wakes her up and asks her if she's okay. She told him that she is fine. Hisao decided to leave so that she can rest. Before he left, she thanked him for visiting since it was the first time that someone other than Rin visited her. The next day, Hisao takes a bath. He is worried about Emmy and also thinks about her relationship with the team captain. He wanted to know if the two are a team. In the clinic, Hisao asked the nurse about Emmy and the team captain. He told him that there's a high chance that they are not in a relationship. As he leaves, he celebrated. An obstacle is gone and he can now make a move to her. Lunch break. Emmy and Hisao are the only present on the rooftop. It looks like Rin had caught Emmy's cold. They talk about different things while eating their lunch. Emmy's mood changed every time she talked about her father. He asked her what's wrong, and she explained that she is like that sometimes. He hugged her and told her that she can always talk to him about it. She thanked him and reassured him that she's fine. He changed the topic and asked Emmy about the career survey. She doesn't like the plan ahead, so that's why she didn't answer it. He saw jokes about her pursuing a pirate career, and she then asked him if he will join her if she ever becomes one. He answered that he would gladly join her, and she seemed happy at his answer. Out of nowhere, Emmy told him that if he is planning to kiss her, do it now before the bell rings. Hisao was shocked at her statement, and they share a long, passionate kiss. She invited him for a dinner after her practice. The bell rang and they went to their classroom. Before he entered the class, Emmy kisses him on the cheeks. Misha saw it and they were happy for them. Emmy and Hisao had a date in the park. They ate the food they bought from a convenience store. As they went back to their dorm, Hisao noticed that Emmy is limping. She reassured him that her prosthetics had been knocked out of place. He's not convinced but he let it slide. The next morning, Hisao thanked Emmy for helping him to be in good shape. As they went to the clinic, Amy told him that she has something to do and she will not see the nurse this morning. Inside, the nurse told him that Amy is avoiding him for some reason. During lunch, Hisao told Amy to go to the clinic or else he will always bug her about it. At first, she refused but she later agreed after Hisao's sweet talk. After the class, Hisao went to the library and had a talk with Yuko. Amy called in and asked him to go to her room. As he enters the room, he saw her in a wheelchair. She explained that she got an infection on her leg and was advised to stop using the prosthetics until it was gone. He asked her if there's anything he can do to help. She told him that she's fine, but she asked him if he can lift her to her bed. Hisao lifted her to her bed. After a bit of conversation, joking around, and a pillow fight, Amy is now on top of Hisao. She challenged Hisao on who blushes first, lost. She then took off her blouse, skirt, and bra. He blushes after seeing her bare breast and was teased by Amy. She moves to her lower half and felt a feeling that she never knew existed. After a strenuous gliding session, Rin barged into the room and asked Amy if she can use her window. A half-naked Amy permitted her. She opened it and was disappointed that the cloud she is looking for has changed its shape. Amy asked her if she can give them privacy. She walked out of the room and closed the door. The two decided to do it again, but this time naked. The next day, Amy is on track to support Hisao on his exercise and planned to run with him, but she forgot to bring a pair of gloves. She remembered that there's a glove in the shed and she asked him that they go there to get it. Hisao helped her to enter the shed but she fell from the wheelchair. He apologized and helped her but Amy kissed him and took off her clothes. Hisao found a loop in the shed and he's confused. Amy told him that the captain owns it and she revealed that the captain is gay. The two are kinda curious about this backdoor adventure and that's why they tried. It was afternoon when Hisao realized that he had fallen asleep after his backdoor adventure with her girlfriend. Amy went to his dorm to tell him that he needed to stop hanging out for the meantime. Exams are coming up and they need to focus on it. Hisao feels that there's more than that, but he still agreed with their proposal. In the library, Hisao opened to Yuko about his problems regarding his relationship with Emi. He is not clear on their labels and wanted to know more about Emi. She always changed the subject every time he asked her about herself. The librarian advised him to try to talk to her about it. The exam is over. Hisao visited Emi in her room. He noticed that she is crying but she denies it. He told her that they need to talk about her problems. She told him that she's fine but Hisao keeps pushing her. Emi told him that her problem can be solved by anyone when he asked her why she is going through her problems alone. Emi told him that her problems can be solved by anyone. Then he asked her why she is going through her problems alone. She just answered that she doesn't want to lose something important again. Their conversation ends there and Hisao feels like Emi is pushing him away. He wanted to help her but he didn't know how. The next morning, Emi thanked Hisao because she managed to get a good night's sleep. After that, he got hurt because he thought that she became better because she was pushing him away. During the checkup, the nurse noticed that there's something wrong with the two. He asked Hisao about it and he explained the situation. The nurse told him that Emi is a stubborn girl and if she doesn't want to talk about it, she will not talk about it. He just gave him a clue about her problem. It is related to Emi's accident and its anniversary is coming soon. Emi barged into the clinic and she invited Hisao to have lunch at her house. The two rode the bus to reach the city and walked from there. They had a conversation about different things, but Hisao noticed that every time Emi spoke about her father, she gets gloomy. They reached her house and were greeted by Mrs. Ibarazaki. During lunch, her mother asked Emi if she will visit her father this year. She asked her mom if they can talk about it later. Her mom realized her mistake and apologized for it. Emi excused herself for a bit. Hisao followed her to console him. She told him that she's fine and didn't need any help, but he insists that she needs his help. This angered Emi and she told him that she isn't broken and she didn't need to be fixed. Hisao asked about what happened to her father. Emi became gloomy again and told him that's enough. Frustrated, he told her that keep her secrets and they can lie in the grave. Emi was shocked and told him to leave the house. Hisao realizes the horror of what he just said and tried to apologize, but he was told to go out of the house. A few days had passed. Hisao hasn't talked to Emi. Nisha noticed it, asked him about it. He explained the situation. She advised him to talk and apologize to her. He realized his mistake and followed Nisha's advice. After the class, he went to the truck. Emi noticed him. He apologized to her and she forgave him. After that, Emi continued her training. Hisao feels like it was not enough. He chased her on the truck and he hit up her shoulder as soon as she reached her. He explained that he wanted to help her as how she helped him. She hugged him and cried. She asked him to leave her for now. She wanted to have time to think, but she promised that she will meet him tomorrow in the truck. The next day, Emmy is hurrying Hisao to do warm-ups and to finish their exercise. The moment they are done, she dragged him to the clinic. The nurse made their checkup quick and they went to a bus stop to go meet her mom. Hisao asked where they are going and Emmy just told him that they will visit her father. Her mother drives them to a cemetery. They went first because her mom wanted to visit her dad alone. As they walked inside, Emmy told him that her father died in the accident. She keeps pushing people away because she thinks that anytime they can be taken away from her. She made an exception when she met Hisao. She fell in love with him, but she's afraid that she will get hurt again if he will be taken away from her. Hisao hugged her and he told her that he can control what will happen in the future. If they will be gone, at least they spent their life together. They paid their respect to her father and went back to their dorm. Emmy invited him to her room, where she asked him to stay with her. Hisao answered that he will, not only tonight, but forever. They get naked,
and they fuck happily ever after.
There are two endings on this route, a good ending and a bad ending. There is another scenario that can lead to this ending. In the other scenario, Hisao will ask Miss Ibarasaki for advice. Emmy overheard them and thought that her mother broke their promise. This led to a quarrel between Emmy and her mother. To end it, Hisao decided to leave. She realized what she had done and apologized, but Hisao still insists on going home. After that, it is the same as the first scenario, but instead of Misha will give the advice, the nurse will give it instead. Instead of talking on the truck, they talk on the rooftop. In the bad ending, they broke up. For me, this is the most light-hearted route in this novel. There are no dark or complicated themes except for Emmy's trauma. The story is very easy to digest and the choices are simple. There's only one and a very obvious choice that can lead to a bad ending. This is the first route most people read because it's very easy to be locked here.
What we have learned in this route is that trauma greatly affects an individual. It is a very sensitive topic and people who experience this is not comfortable talking about it. If you are consoling them, please don't be a jerk. Don't force them to talk. They will share their stories if they are comfortable sharing it. Remember, your mere presence and the fact that they knew you care for them is enough. Always tell yourself that you are there to support them and not to fix them.
Oh my god, look at that face.